When I first started playing Lorcana all the way back from Rise of the Floodborn, I remember the first deck I played was Emerald Steel Pink, utilizing the Relentless Beast, being able to quest multiple times with the amount of pinks that we have. Then I transitioned into Amethyst Steel with a little bit more pizzazz with Magic Brooms, and I still had the same concept where we will ping damage, but between those two decks there was always one card that came into clutch, and that was Grabber Swords. And now we have it. Well, kind of. We got a new card called To Wither a Flower, which is a conditional Grabber Sword, but hey, I'll take it. In this video, I wanted to showcase my Emerald Steel deck that relies on pinging your opponent's board and also going for potential board wipes with a bunch of different characters. Up above, you're going to see the deck list that I made, and you see we're using a lot of the new cards that's been featured in the next set, and also a lot of old cards from the reprints of Fabled. What we want to focus on here is being able to ping your opponent's character for a potential board wipe, or even just singling out your opponent's big threats. But first and foremost, let's go over some of the cards that keeps our decks running with our draw engine. First things, we are running 4 copies of the new team card Rapunzel and Flynn Rider, as well as 4 copies of the 1-drops of Flynn and Rapunzel as our potential shift targets. Rapunzel and Flynn Rider unlikely pair is able to let us keep drawing cards and discarding, but if we were to discard a character card, we can still play it from the discard as long as we can pay the price. This deck is very combo heavy, so this card is letting us really look for those key cards that we need for our potential board wipe, but all at the same time it is allowing us to play those discarded character cards to really keep pressure on the board. As well as Rapunzel and Flynn, we are also running 4 copies of Mushu's Stealthy Dragon. Mushu is going to let us draw a card every time he quests as long as your opponent has more cards than you do. Now this deck does draw a good amount of cards, but we're also discarding a good amount, so that doesn't exactly mean we have a big hand size, so we can really utilize this Mushu's effect to really get us a bigger hand size. Now let's get into my favorite section of this video, which is the potential combos we can do with this deck. First thing I want to talk about is the new song card that we got, which is To Wither a Flower. Now this song is allowing us to deal 2 damage to each opposing character as long as they have damage on them. So how do we get the damage on them in the first place? This is where we're going to be using Tinkerbell Giant Fairy, which is going to put 1 damage on each opposing character on play. We're also going to be playing the 3-drop Tiny Tactician to give us a good shift target so that we can really get this combo off by turn 4 if we really need to push for it. So the potential combo that we're seeing is on turn 4 we can shift onto our big Tinkerbell to deal 1 damage to each opposing characters. Then that Tinkerbell can still sing To Wither a Flower, dealing 2 more damage onto it. That's almost like a baby Prince Phillip combo if anything. There's also different variations we can go with this combo as well. First thing I want to talk about is Mass Goof and as well as the shift target. This is going to give us access to the songs that we may have discarded early on or even played early on as well. We can also rely on different cards such as Malicious, Mean and Scary and Windstorm to deal the 1 damage to each opposing character, then we can finish it off with the To Wither a Flower later on. Now I want to talk about one of my favorite cards in this deck, which is Merida, Formidable Archer. Now, while she's in play, whenever you deal damage to an opposing character with an action card, she's going to deal 2 more damage on top of the damage that you're already dealing. That being said, let's say we have Merida on board and we were to play a Tinkerbell. That's going to deal 1 damage to all opposing character, but then we can sing To Wither a Flower with Merida, dealing 2 damage with the song and 2 more damage with the Merida's effect. That's dealing 5 damage to all your opposing character with that play. Or if you have Merida on board, you can really just play Windstorm if you really wanted to. That's doing 3 damage to each opposing character and 7 to evasives. Sometimes you don't need like an instant banish like a Prince Phillip or Under the Sea. Sometimes you just need a really big and wide ping damage. We're playing cards such as He Hurled His Thunderbolt and Strength of a Raging Fire to just help deal with some of those more beefier characters. There's another card I want to talk about really quick, and that is a bit of an underdog I think coming up for this next format, and that's going to be Chernabog or Natural Force. The way I see this metaphor, I mean, the team card is very hyped up, and for good reasons too. I feel that people are using these team cards and they're building the deck around it, so these team cards are a very core part of their deck. Chernabog on play is going to let us choose 1 opposing character and shuffle it back into the deck. But in response, your opponent will be able to play a character from their discard for free. Now, since this is a ping style deck, we can really examine the board state and kind of determine what the best card that your opponent will probably choose if we were to play this Chernabog. And depending on that state, we can really use our Chernabog to force our opponent to shuffle the card back to bring out something a lot more easier to manage with our ping style playstyle. And there's also one big thing I want to point out is that Chernabog is not banishing the character that you're choosing, it is simply shuffling it back into his deck. Meaning, let's say you're facing against Sully and Boo or even the Mickey and Minnie team cards. When you are choosing that with Chernabog, it is not banishing them. So that means that their effect will not proc. So it's a little bit of a counter if you say. Anyways, this is going to wrap up the end of my video. So this is going to be my Emerald Steel pink deck with the return of our new Grab Your Swords. I think it's a great deck if you like to just ping damage and go for a potential board wipe in the future. If you liked the deck, please be sure to give the video a like and subscribe for the channel for more Lacana content. On a side note, if you're going to downtown Disney for the Attack of the Divine release event, I'm going to be there, so if you see me, come by, say hi, it will be the world to me. But other than that, thank you so much for watching the video, and I'll see you at the next one.